What is up, guys? How's it going? Big Cheese here with another video for you. In today's video, we're going to talk about the Battlefield event that happened last night. I really wanted to make a video about it last night, but it finished late. I had to get to bed, but now it's the morning after, and it's a good thing because I've like processed it all, and I got my opinions ready to go, and I want to hear your opinions on it. The event was just absolutely incredible. It exceeded all expectations, and it was just fantastic. I watched the entire thing. We got like hours and hours of unedited gameplay from our favorite live streamers, all that stuff. So we've got a few topics to cover because the event was like 4 or 5 hours long, but I'm breaking it all down here. I'm going to timestamp the sections in the bottom here, guys, okay? And we're going to go through it here. So what we're going to cover today is we're going to cover what this means for Battlefield moving forward and the shooter space in general, okay? We're going to cover the Battle Royale leaks because there was some. We're going to cover new gameplay mechanics because they're actually brand new mechanics that have been added to Battlefield 6. That we've never seen before. We might have seen them in campaigns and things, but I don't think in the multiplayer. The graphics and the gameplay I really want to talk about, and then we're going to go through how to get beta access, early beta access, and the pre-ordering and all that stuff at the end. Okay, so we're going to go through all those categories. The usual YouTube stuff, guys. Like, subscribe. If you like the video, check out the description below for our live streams. Glad to have you here. Let's get into it. Okay, so the first thing we want to talk about is what this means for Battlefield moving forward. We've got a bunch of topics we're going to cover, but I just want to discuss this first, okay? This event was brilliant. This event was awesome. This event made COD Next look like a child's puppet show. It really did. And the thing is, Battlefield have really gone for the jugular of COD and of Warzone here because they had the same presenters and stuff like that from COD Next, and I know those guys aren't like committed to anyone or anything, but when you've got the same presenters that have been presenting the Call of Duty Next, presenting the competitor, their main competitor, and they definitely are now, like, it says something, it's a statement. They also invited all the big Call of Duty streamers out to it, okay? And all the Call of Duty streamers looked like they were having a blast. A lot of them struggled, like Tim and all that stuff, but they, some of them just aren't great players. But you had players like Scump, and you had players like Nadeshot, and you had players like Courage JD. I know he's a Fortnite guy, but he was big on COD. They were all there having an absolute blast, talking about how good this game is. These guys were the faces of Call of Duty for years. And I think what Battlefield did by inviting them, and of course we had all the experienced Battlefield players, like Tactical Brit and Stone Mountain and stuff, who all say the game's back, by the way, which is one of the main things which should just instill your confidence in this. They were all there playing 3 hours of just the gameplay, and whenever they were interviewed and in the videos they've dropped and all that, we are back. That is the opinion from the experienced Battlefield players, especially when players like Tactical Brit are playing it. We've been hanging out in Tactical Brit's comment section for the past like 4 years talking about how Battlefield used to be amazing. We just need to go back to its roots and all that. And he's been there with us. People like him and Westy and all that stuff have been there with us. Stod, they've all been there with us. And for guys like this to be saying the Battlefield's back, like, if anyone's opinion, if you want to take anybody's opinion, it's theirs, right? They're the guys. They're the guys with the opinions. They know their stuff. They've spent thousands of hours playing these games and making videos on these games and analyzing these games. The game is back. The core game is back. And they, like I said, they've really gone for the jugular on COD here, especially when we talk about the Battle Royale leaks next. But they took Call of Duty Next and they did their own thing, which is like, when Call of Duty Next first dropped, the first one, we were like, oh, this is awesome. We don't really see much of this. It's amazing. Battlefield did it better yesterday. They did everything better yesterday. The presentation before the show, I'll put the link for the whole thing in below, guys. Yeah, you know where to find it. It's on their Battlefield channel. The presentation on the stage in the other room they did with the surround screen for all the crowd of the destruction, and like the green screens behind the guys who were sitting there while there was like tanks and stuff fighting in the background. It was just better in every single way than everything Call of Duty and anybody has done in years. Like, I honestly, I don't remember like tuning out either. I was just sat there watching it, and I watched the entire event. It was absolutely awesome. And what this means for Battlefield is, the core game is back. There's no deny. There's no way that they could have tricked us this time. 2042, they tricked a lot of people into thinking Battlefield was coming back to being awesome, but there was concerns. I'm not sure it's going to be ready from people who played the beta and all that. There's just no concerns, no negativity from any of these content creators. And I'm not talking about the sellouts. I'm not talking about the ones who are there because they bring in views. These guys are the experienced Battlefield players and content creators. None of them had any concerns. They were just absolutely loving it, and I was just loving watching it. It was absolutely awesome. So the core gameplay is back. That's what it means for Battlefield. The term COD killer is thrown around so willy-nilly nowadays. This is the game that could kill COD. I think COD will still survive. With being free on Game Pass and stuff, I think COD will trickle along. But its relevance took such a blow yesterday. And if I was on the Call of Duty dev team and the Black Ops 7, is it Black Ops 7 they're dropping? Who knows? You just lose track of this shit. They just regurgitate out garbage every year. Black Ops 7, I think they're going for a Hail Mary. They're discontinuing Warzone, they're going for Black Ops 2. If I was one of the devs on that team and I'm watching this showcase, I'm calling a meeting tomorrow just to talk about how fucked we are. It was just unbelievable and in a league of its own, the event. It was absolutely awesome. I really encourage you guys to go watch it. But you know, we got some footage of it here now while we're talking about it, of all the guys playing and stuff, because I've just trimmed it down so you can just watch it while we chat. And it's amazing. It was just 10 out of 10. I absolutely loved it, and I'm really hyped for this get open beta now coming up, which again we're going to talk about. Let's talk about the Battle Royale leak. Okay, so first we're just going to watch it again, the leak, okay? It's only like 10 seconds long, 15 seconds long, but just watch it. Okay. So Battlefield got announced to release on October 10th as well, guys, which is huge. That is just around the corner.
Studios across Criterion, DICE, Motive. Wait, hold on. There is one more thing.
Oh, this is awesome.
That Ripple Effect was working on a brand new experience for Battlefield. Well,
so Ripple Effect are working on their own project. We know this. Look at this. Just take note of the destruction, the vehicles, and all that stuff. Scrambling to get away. Golf carts. That's the firestorm. That's the firestorm, baby. That's the firestorm. That like oh my god, unbelievable, unbelievable. That's just amazing. So yeah, that's basically confirming that the Battle Royale is coming. Now it did say coming to labs, so that probably means it's in labs at the moment, just like the game has been for the last few months, you know. And they're going to give feedback and all that stuff. They're probably going to invite some lucky members to go trial it and all that stuff, sign NDAs. But it's in labs and it's probably going to be dropping. I'm thinking November time. I think it's going to drop around November because they're confident in their product, and that's probably when the next Blackout will drop, the next Warzone installment or whatever the COD are going to do. And they're looking to kill it off. They're going for it. There was no mention of COD in this entire event from anybody. But they are going in for the kill here. They really are. They are going in for the kill, and I'm here for it. I want it to happen. I really do. I think COD has mistreated not only the game itself, they've mistreated the franchise. They've mistreated just gaming in general with the just soulless, shameless, money-driven decisions, you know. And they've mistreated the player base. They've mistreated the player base to the point where there's players like me ready to, well, I've left the COD ship, right? It's not like I'm ready to jump ship. I've left, and there's got to be plenty of players like me out there who are just done with COD, who are just done with FIFA because we're sick of being treated like crap, you know. And there are still people out there that are just stuck in that rut and they're playing the same shit every year. And I feel for you guys, I really do, because if you just take a step away from it, you'll realize there's so many games coming out now, especially this year, that are better. And yeah, they're going for the kill. They're going for the kill. Let's talk about the new gameplay mechanics. There's a couple of little mechanics in here that just had me, you know, they were like, oh my god moments in the event. So it was amazing. So the new revive system, I want to talk about that. It's awesome. When your teammate's down, so it's similar to Battlefield 2042, right? Anyone in your squad can revive you, but it's not just like sticking a pen in them now and just you know, little circle things. Now when you start the revive, you grab your teammate by the back of the collar, and you've got the option to just like revive him there, or drag him to safety. So as you grab him by the back of the collar, this circle starts to fill up, which is the revive circle, right? Once it reaches the end, you res your teammate. But while it's filling up, you can drag him into cover, you can drag him around the corner, you can drag him upstairs. We saw Tin the Tatman, I think it was, dragging Courage JD up the stairs. And then when the circle fills up, You stick the stim pen in them, and they're rezzed. When they're rezzed, they're then rezzed in a backwards prone position, and they can immediately shoot. They can immediately start firing again. They can't fire while they're being dragged, which I thought I saw, but that's not right. Maybe they'll add that. I don't know, like a pistol. But yeah, once they're rezzed in a prone position, then they can look around, sort of thing, you know, and then they can start shooting. The other new mechanic we saw was the hitchhiking. So you can like cling on the back of a vehicle now, like parkour style. If a tank's running past you, you haven't got to like hold. Like run up to, you know, in Battlefield when like at the start of the game when the tanks are driving off without you, and you're going to end up running across the map if you don't get in a vehicle. If there's no room in the vehicle now, you can just hitch on the back. You can grab onto the back and like freaking backpack it across and then jump off. I thought that mechanic was awesome, and I think there was a pull-up mechanic as well. I saw in PUBG the other day they had a pull-up mechanic. So if you're up high and your buddy can't get up, it boosts you up or whatever, and you can pull them up. You can lie down and pull them up. We saw it in a couple of trailers. We didn't see it in the game, but I think that they're going to look to add that, I think, which would be cool, especially for a battle royale when you're trying to get to certain positions, you know, or even in the multiplayer, I think. But that's not confirmed, guys. Okay, that's just my speculation there. I did see that. The graphics and the gameplay. These are the best graphics I've ever seen in a first-person shooter. In a Battlefield or COD, I mean, you know. The graphics, the gameplay, the destruction is better than ever. It's literally better than ever. It looks unbelievable. Like any building, like you saw streamers just randomly firing RPGs at buildings just because it's like it just crumbles and it crumbles. Anyone near it, it hits them. And then like when you shoot the front of a building, the front's just off then, and then it's just an open building. We saw someone shoot an RPG through a floor, drop down on enemies and kill them. We saw someone shoot an RPG at the ceiling, which made the enemies drop in and then they killed them. It's unbelievable. The destruction was fantastic, and again, they just look like they've pulled it off. I left this event thinking they fucking pulled it off, and now the 100 million player thing doesn't look so bad. I think there was like 500,000 wish lists like right after the show or something, and I know that's nowhere near 100 million, but I don't know. 100 million's a lot, actually. I know, but if anyone can do it, if they pull this off, it's gonna just dominate the shooter space for I don't know how long, especially with the battle royale alongside it. If they do it right, and that big if now is a much smaller if. They've got the core Battlefield's back, according to all the experts. Core Battlefield's back. The gameplay, you know. So they had the new game modes and all that stuff, and then they also had this 4v4v4 game mode, which was like it was called Squad Deathmatch. And this is what I'm going to go back to it again. They're going for the jugular because they're bringing in these game modes that COD players would like. Like as a COD player, I like search and destroy, and I like these like 3v3v3 death matches, you know, where you can res a teammate and it's one life and stuff. And they had like a 4v4v4v4, 4 teams of 4 deathmatch mode, squad deathmatch they called it, and they were running around. And you saw players like Scumpy and all that stuff. They were really enjoying that mode because that's where they belong, right? In these little arena shooters where it's fast paced and all that stuff, running around with shotguns. And they're really going for it. They're not only are they like trying to do everything well, do the core gameplay well, do the battle royale well, they're trying to bring people over from COD. You can see it. They're pulling people over. They pulled all the streamers over for this event. How many of those COD streamers stick to Battlefield? I don't know. You know what I mean? We've seen like Tim the Tapman and Courage JD. They seem to just, their attention spans aren't great, you know. Plus, they need to be playing a variety of games because they're that big, right? They're the big money. But like players like Scump, who are just ex-pros and stuff, I can see them settling in on this mode, and Battlefield bringing more like little modes like that. COD players could slowly shift over, a lot of them, and pull away, and it would be huge. And then let's not forget the Battle Royale. We're going to have Apex players coming over. We're going to have Warzone players coming over. You know, people who play like any other Battle Royales out there. Like, I'm not sure it'll pull PUBG crowd. Maybe. PUBG seems pretty settled. But I think they're going to be good. But back to the graphics and gameplay, and it's some of the best I've seen. I was watching it, I was like, this can't be gameplay. This is crazy. Just the effects and the immersion and the freaking buildings falling apart. It was absolutely ridiculous. And yeah, the event was a 10 out of 10 for me. It was absolutely outstanding. I just couldn't pinpoint bad things. There was a couple of things that I was like, I'm not sure about that. Like when you die, like this square appears with like a little profile of the guy who killed you. It looked a bit naff, but like that's the Battlefield interface, I guess. And we didn't see too much of a variety. We did get to watch like one game on each map, but we didn't see too much of it. They were chopping and changing between each streamer. So, but yeah, you might not watch the main event. You might watch like Stone Mountain stream, or whatever, when you would have seen the full experience. You would have seen the menus and all that. But I watched the actual event. But I did get to see a lot of gameplay. You know, C4s are back to the way they should be, you know, and the guns and stuff like that, you know, and there's no like crazy operator skins, and it just looked back. It just looked back. We are back are the 3 words to describe this event. Let's talk about how you can get beta access, guys, the dates and all that stuff. Yeah, let's talk about that real quick, and then we're going to wrap this video up, I think. Yeah, and if I get multiple codes, I might be doing a giveaway for a code as well, depending on how many I get. But let's talk about that. Okay, so here's a picture of the dates and all that stuff, guys, and here's a bit more information about it on the left. I hope the font's big enough there, but I'll read it to you guys anyway, yeah? So we've got 3 stages of the beta, basically, okay? August 7th and 8th is the early access beta, okay? So that's only available to people who watched an hour of someone stream it yesterday and got a key, or should be getting an email. If you signed up to Battlefield Labs before yesterday, you should be getting an email with a code, maybe even some friend codes, to invite people to play the closed private beta, the early access beta, on August 7th and 8th, okay? Now, August 9th and 10th and August 14th to 17th are both open betas for everybody, all right? And here's a bit more information here. So how to play the open beta. You can play Battlefield's open beta on PlayStation 5, Xbox Series X and S, PC, Steam, Epic Stores, and EA app. You can preload the game as early as August 4th at 3 p.m. UTC, that's 8 a.m. PT, and start playing during the open beta weekends. Early access opens on the 7th at 8 UTC, 1 a.m. PT. If you signed up for Battlefield Labs before July 31st, you don't need a code. Just log in with the EA account you registered the Battlefield Labs. If you didn't sign up for Battlefield Labs, you can watch selected streamers and reveal streams on July 31st on Twitch, which was yesterday. So the chance to do that bit is past now. Weekend 1 opens on the 9th, which is the public. No codes needed available to anyone. Weekend 2 opens on the 14th. Okay, 8 o'clock UTC, 1 a.m. PT, and closes 17th of August. We get a full 3 days there, okay? So we've got the 2 open weekends, and then we've got the private weekend on the early access. I believe I've got plans on the 7th and 8th, so I won't be at that, but I'll definitely be there for the open one, guys. Live streams in the description, yeah? I'm at TikTok, Twitch, and YouTube we stream on, okay? So, well, right here. So, yeah, let me know what you guys thought of the event down below, okay? I really want to know everyone's thoughts, because me and like I had buddies, and they know who they are if they're watching this video, that they were just like, I'm not excited for this, I don't trust them. And then during the event, they were like, dude, I'm fucking hyped. Like the event just it turned anybody who wasn't, that I know, into like excited, you know. And it made people who were kind of like me, who were hopeful and really looking for them to, you know, regain my trust. It turned us into just full-on believers. Like everything I saw yesterday suggests that Battlefield's back, and we are going to be in for a bit of a golden era here this year, coming with this, like, you know. And like I said, we don't have much details on the battle royale, but if they got the destruction in there, dude, and these mechanics with dragging your teammates and rezzing them, clinging on the back of vehicles, you had the golf buggy plowing into the pool there, so they got the funny little vehicles, you know, you can use to navigate around the map like PUBG has. The firestorm, you know, it's awesome. It just looks amazing. The graphics, dude, and they've got this, it's all next gen, it's not held back by backwards compatible bullshit. We finally moved on, and these are the first guys to do it, right? These are the first guys to do a battle royale that's moved on. Everyone else can still play theirs, and it's holding them back, and they are not being held back here, and they are plowing everything they've got into this with the 4 dev teams, and EA investing like 400 million so far. How can it fail? How can it fail? Like, if it does fail, you'll see me making videos talking about that. This is the biggest flop ever. This is the greatest opportunity they've ever had, a shooter has ever had, to dominate the space, and I think they're going to take it. So let me know what you guys think in the comments. This video went on for a bit, but I've really enjoyed making it for you guys, and I'm so pumped. We got a Discord server, all that just in the description. Follow me everywhere, okay, guys? And I'll speak to you guys in the comment section, and I'll see you for the next video. Peace.